His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa arrived in Egypt on a private visit, during which His Majesty will meet with the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to discuss the historical and fraternal ties between the two countries, in addition to the latest regional and international developments of mutual interest. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa departed for Egypt on a private visit, during which His Majesty the King will meet with the Egypt President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to discuss the historical ties between the two countries, in addition to discussing the latest regional and international developments of common interest. His Majesty the King was bid farewell by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Commander of the National Guard General His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Isa bin Salman Al Khalifa, the personal representative of His Majesty the King His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and senior officials. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara on the occasion of Syria's Liberation Day. His Majesty expressed sincere congratulations and best wishes to the Syrian President for good health and happiness, and to the brotherly Syrian people for further progress and prosperity. His Majesty praised the deep-rooted fraternal relations between the two countries and peoples, and the development and growth witnessed in all fields. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara on the occasion of Syria's Liberation Day. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister and President of the Supreme Commission for the Royal Fund for Fallen Servicemen (RFFS), Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa chaired a meeting of the Supreme Commission for the RFFS at Rifa Palace. His Royal Highness emphasized the steadfast support of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa for the Supreme Commission for the RFFS, highlighting its role in providing care for the families of fallen servicemen. In this regard, His Royal Highness commended the fund's role in supporting the families of fallen servicemen and ensuring their needs are met. His Royal Highness highlighted the unwavering support the fund receives from His Majesty the King, as this backing demonstrates the Kingdom's commitment to the families of fallen veterans, with the fund ensuring they receive sufficient support. His Royal Highness noted that the fund is also a symbol of Bahrain's enduring appreciation for fallen veterans and their sacrifices, and affirmed that these sacrifices are etched in the Kingdom's social fabric and history, inspiring future generations. His Royal Highness stressed the successful efforts of the fund's administration in fulfilling its objectives and achieving the purposes for which it was established. His Royal Highness paid tribute to the chivalry and courage of the Kingdom's fallen servicemen, emphasizing their efforts as a source of national pride, and extended his gratitude to the personnel of all the Kingdom's military and security sectors. The most prominent topics on the fund's agenda, as well as mechanisms to support the fund's families, were reviewed. The Minister of the Prime Minister's Court, His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Minister of Interior General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, the Minister of Finance and National Economy Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, the Minister of Defense Affairs Lieutenant General Abdullah bin Hassan Al Naimi, and the committee members also attended the meeting. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister and President of the Supreme Commission for the Royal Fund for Fallen Servicemen (RFFS), Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa met with the sponsors of the RFFS at Rifa Palace. His Royal Highness outlined that the unwavering support of the RFFS receives from His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa is central to furthering the fund's objectives, particularly in supporting the families of the Kingdom's fallen servicemen. His Royal Highness reflected on and commended the honourable sacrifices made by the fallen servicemen in safeguarding the kingdom's security and stability, stating that their dedication reflects the highest standards of patriotism and loyalty. His Royal Highness expressed his appreciation for the vital role of the sponsors of the Royal Fund and their commitment to supporting the fund's mission. His Royal Highness reiterated the importance of continued support in enhancing the fund's programs and ensuring their long-term impact, commending the efforts of the RFFS members in achieving its goals. His Royal Highness stated that fully supporting the families of fallen servicemen is a national duty, underscoring the strong community partnership that exists between the public and private sectors in advancing national initiatives. His Royal Highness highlighted Bahrain's commitment to further developing these partnerships in order to enhance programs dedicated to the families of fallen servicemen. His Royal Highness emphasized the need for promoting the values of national solidarity, mutual support, as well as raising community awareness of efforts supporting the families of fallen servicemen that play a crucial role towards the kingdom's success across diverse fields. For their part, the sponsors of the RFFS expressed their appreciation to His Royal Highness for his commitment to strengthening joint national efforts that benefit the kingdom and its people. The Minister of the Prime Minister's Court, His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Minister of Interior, General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, the Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, the Minister of Defense Affairs, Lieutenant General Abdullah bin Hassan Al Naimi, and several senior officials also attended the meeting. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa met with the Secretary General for the Council of International Dispute Resolution of Bahrain, Professor Mark Paulson, at Rifat Palace. During the meeting, His Royal Highness was presented with a book from Professor Paulson tracing the development of Bahrain's legal framework and documenting key milestones in advancing justice. The book also highlights the measures taken by Bahrain to strengthen the rule of law, uphold justice, and protect rights and freedoms, in line with comprehensive development goals. His Royal Highness emphasized the kingdom's robust legislative and judicial framework, which keeps pace with evolving needs and reflects the vision and aspirations of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness commended the outcomes following King Hamad lecture for neutral justice, noting that it represents the strengthening of ongoing efforts aimed at advancing the commercial justice system regionally and internationally. His Royal Highness also noted that those outcomes further the development of Bahrain's commercial justice ecosystem, enhance legal partnership with countries and international institutions, and contribute to encouraging trade, investment, and economic growth. His Royal Highness affirmed that the Bahrain International Commercial Court is a strong example that the kingdom's advanced legislative system, given its pivotal role in supporting Bahrain's commercial and investment environment through resolving commercial disputes in accordance with international best practices. For her part, Professor Paulson expressed her appreciation for His Royal Highness's continued support for initiatives that enhance Bahrain's position as a regional hub for commercial justice and global legal cooperation. The Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, also attended the meeting. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa issued Edict 77 of 2025 regarding the restructuring of the Board of Directors of Iskan Bank based on a proposal submitted by the Minister of Housing and Urban Planning and following the Cabinet's approval. The Board of Directors shall be restructured under the chairmanship of the Minister of Housing and Urban Planning with the following members: محمد عبد الرحمن بوشيري، ريم عبد الغفار العلوي، عيسى عبد الله زينل، نبيل صالح عبد العال، نجلة محمد الشيراوي، مبارك نبيل مطر، عبد اللطيف خالد عبد اللطيف, Balsam Ali Al Salman. Members of the board shall be for a term of 3 years, renewable. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa issued a circular regarding the National Day holiday of Bahrain and the anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne. The circular states that on the occasion of the National Day of Bahrain and the anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne, all ministries, government agencies and public institutions in Bahrain will be closed on Tuesday and Wednesday, 16th and 17th of December 2025. The Representatives Council held its weekly session chaired by the Speaker of the Council, Ahmed Limsalem. 2 letters from His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister were reviewed regarding draft laws, and the Council decided to refer the 2 draft laws to the relevant committees. They discussed the Committee on Services report on professional sports, as well as the report of the committee preparing the draft response to the Royal Address, and decided to approve the draft response to the Royal Address. A draft law establishing the National Fund for the Care and Support of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, prepared on the basis of a bill proposed by the Council. The Council also approved the inclusion of an urgent proposal for the government to impose additional controls and restrictions within the limits of the law in force on foreign investors, commercial register holders and registered workers with flexible visas, to ensure that they do not leave the country permanently without paying their financial obligations. The Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa met with the Minister of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture, Engineer Wael Mbarak, the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources of Oman, Dr. Saoud Al Habsi, the Executive Director of the International Dates Council, Her Royal Highness Princess Sarah bint Bandar bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and a number of senior GCC officials in the municipal plant and livestock resources and food diversity sectors. The meeting took place on the sidelines of their participation in the Bahrain International Show Mara'i 2025. The Deputy Prime Minister praised the participation in the show, which is one of the most important leading national initiatives to highlight Bahrain's efforts in developing agricultural and livestock production and supporting food security at all levels. He affirmed Bahrain's commitment under the leadership of His Majesty the King with the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to strengthen Gulf integration and food security to achieve the shared development visions of the GCC leaders. He noted that the current phase is witnessing significant momentum in GCC cooperation and coordination to develop the Gulf food system. Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah praised the Ministry of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture's efforts in organizing this show, which reflects Bahrain's interest in strengthening the partnership between the public and private sectors in the agricultural and livestock fields. For their part, the senior GCC officials praised Bahrain's support of initiatives that enhance Gulf food security and achieve agricultural and livestock development in the region, and its promotion of joint cooperation. The Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs (SCIA) held its regular session chaired by its President Sheikh Abdulrahman bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Khalifa. The Council congratulated His Majesty the King, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, the royal family, the government and the people of Bahrain on the Kingdom's national days, marking the founding of the modern Bahraini state during the era of Ahmed al-Fatih as an Arab Muslim state, and the anniversary of His Majesty's accession to the throne. The Council praised the national progress achieved under the leadership of His Majesty, the continued efforts of the government led by His Royal Highness, and the dedication of the Bahraini people. On Commemoration Day, the SCIA expressed appreciation for the sacrifices of Bahrain's fallen servicemen in defending its security and advancement, reaffirming that the occasion embodies enduring values of loyalty, sacrifice, and dedication. The Council also congratulated His Majesty on the success of the 46th session of the GCC Supreme Council hosted by Bahrain under His Majesty's chairmanship, commending His Majesty's speech. It also welcomed the summit's constructive outcomes that enhance Gulf unity and cooperation. The Minister of Interior, General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, delivered a statement on the occasion of International Anti-Corruption Day, which falls on December 9th. The Interior Minister affirmed that marking this international occasion stems from the international community's commitment to a shared vision based on upholding integrity, consolidating transparency, and unifying collective action. He pointed out that Bahrain has established firm foundations and serious practices in combating corruption, which have had a significant impact on strengthening its position and leading role regionally and internationally. He added that this is the result of the directives of His Majesty the King and follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, as well as the commitment to implementing the best methods and standards of enforcing the provisions of regional and international agreements related to promoting integrity and transparency. The Minister found that consolidating a culture of combating corruption is a top priority in enhancing economic and social development. He explained that Bahrain has taken proactive steps in this regard through an integrated legislative and institutional framework and by consolidating community partnership and raising awareness of the role of self-regulation as a first step in combating corruption. The Minister of Information, Dr. Ramzan bin Abdullah Naimi, attended the launch of the Bridge Summit 2025 at the Abu Dhabi National Exhibition Center in the UAE. The summit brought together more than 60,000 media policymakers, content creators, entrepreneurs, investors, and research centers, along with over 400 international speakers and 300 participants in the largest exhibition for media. On the sidelines of the summit, the minister met with the chairman of the UAE's National Media Council, Sheikh Abdullah bin Mohammed Al Hamid. The minister praised the deep-rooted and historic fraternal relations between Bahrain and the UAE, which are witnessed a continuous development in various fields thanks to the support of both leaderships. The meeting also reviewed the level of media cooperation between the two brotherly countries and discussed ways to further develop it to better serve common interest. The Minister of Information, Dr. Ramzan bin Abdullah Naimi, participated in a dialogue session entitled Building an Integrated Information System, attended by specialists, policymakers, and media professionals. Dr. Naimi affirmed Bahrain's commitment to fostering a media environment based on a responsible professional practice and protecting security from misinformation amid the rapid transformation occurring in the global media landscape. He outlined Bahrain's vision for building an information system characterized by integrity and reliability, stressing the importance of enhancing content and source verification and developing national legislation to keep pace with digital changes. The minister highlighted the issuance of the Press and Digital Media Law in Bahrain, which includes significant updates supporting the professional and responsible regulation of digital publishing. He noted that Bahrain adopts a balanced approach that combines preserving national identity and respecting values and principles while simultaneously strengthening international cooperation to address the challenges of cross-border information and support the stability of the media environment. The Minister of Information also took part in a high-level closed session held under the title Alliances for Promoting and Safeguarding the Integrity in Media Global Discourse, attended by a number of international leaders in the political and media fields. The discussions shed light on the rapid transformation in the global information landscape and reviewed prominent international perspectives and experiences in promoting information integrity, addressing the challenges associated with misleading content, and exploring ways to ensure the responsible use of artificial intelligence technologies. On the sidelines of the Bridge Summit, the Minister of Information Dr. Ramzan bin Abdullah Naimi and the Chairman of the UAE's National Media Council, Sheikh Abdullah bin Mohammed Al Hamid, visited Bahrain's Ministry of Information Pavilion at the exhibition accompanying the summit. They reviewed the development of Bahrain's media along with the presentation of the ministry's projects, programs and initiatives that aim to advance media work in a manner that keeps pace with the rapid changes witnessed by the sector and reflects Bahrain's efforts to enhance creativity and innovation in media. The Bahrain Institute for Political Development (BIPD) held a celebration at the Bahrain National Museum to mark its 20th anniversary. The event was attended by the chairman of the BIPD Board of Trustees, Dr. Ali Rumehi, the advisor to His Majesty the King for Media Affairs, Nabil Al-Hamar, the Supreme Council for Women's Secretary General, Lulwa Al-Awadi, members of the Institute's Board of Trustees, and representatives of local media outlets. Al-Rumehi delivered a speech in which he affirmed that the Institute has contributed to supporting the political development of Bahrain. He noted that the Institute's work is inspired by the principles of the National Action Charter stemming from the vision of His Majesty the King and the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. He also highlighted the Institute's contributions over the past 2 decades in enhancing public awareness of constitutional values and supporting political and legislative institutions in fulfilling their roles through the development of training programs and awareness initiatives targeting various segments of society. Al-Hamar and Al-Awadi were honored along with media partners and a number of writers who have contributed to supporting the Institute over the past years. On the occasion of Bahrain's celebration of its national holiday and the accession of His Majesty the King and the accompanying national events, and in an affirmation of Bahrain's keenness to strengthen its bilateral relations with Portugal, the ambassador of Bahrain to Portugal and resident in London, Sheikh Fawaz bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, held a reception and luncheon in the Portuguese capital, Lisbon. The ambassador delivered a speech during the ceremony in which he expressed pride in the close relations between the two friendly countries. He expressed the kingdom's aspiration to further constructive bilateral cooperation in all fields by moving forward with the signing and implementation of agreements and memoranda of understanding that support the aspirations and ambitions of the two friendly countries. The ambassador praised the prominent positions taken by Portugal on various regional and international issues and Bahrain's aspiration for further achievements in cooperation, especially with the kingdom's non-permanent membership in the Security Council for the period 2026 to 2027 and its chairmanship of the 46th session of the GCC Supreme Council. The representative of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Portugal referred to a speech the depth of existing bilateral relations, praising the speech of the ambassador and affirming his country's aspiration to strengthen bilateral, regional and international cooperation. Coinciding with the International Anti-Corruption Day, the General Directorate of Anti-Corruption and Economic and Electronic Security at the Ministry of Interior organized a forum titled "A National Partnership to Promote Integrity and Combat Corruption." The event reflected the Directorate's commitment to strengthening national integrity and adopting new awareness approaches through specialized dialogue platforms targeting decision makers and administrative leaders. The Director General and Director of Anti-Corruption Crimes highlighted the importance of joint cooperation and the strategic partnerships to support anti-corruption efforts and enhance institutional transparency. Speakers from the Directorate and national oversight bodies discussed financial and administrative auditing and combating financial crimes. The Directorate affirmed that the forum is part of a national strategy to foster a culture of integrity and institutional collaboration. Over 150 participants representing 55 ministries, authorities, companies and banks attended the event, which concluded with honoring several participants. The Bahrain Coffee Festival 2025 kicked off at Exhibition World Bahrain (EWB) as part of the Celebrate Bahrain season organized by DXB Live. The festival is held in collaboration with the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibition Authority, the EWB, and the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The CEO of Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority, Sarah Bouhidji, affirmed that the festival is a highlight of the Celebrate Bahrain season and represents a valuable addition to the events that contribute to diversifying the tourism products and achieving the objectives of the tourism sector strategy 2022 to 2026. The Senior Vice President of Dubai World Trade Center, DXB Live, Khalid Al-Hammadi, expressed his delight at hosting the first edition of the festival in Bahrain. The festival, which runs until December 13th, features more than 100 local, regional, and international brands from more than 20 countries. The festival includes an expanded food and beverage area, innovative coffee-themed demonstrations and experiences, and a dedicated corner showcasing the latest roasting and brewing technologies and professional equipment. As part of ongoing efforts to strengthen the entrepreneurship ecosystem for startups, Startup Bahrain, the kingdom's leading national platform for supporting startups, hosted the 22nd edition of the Startup Bahrain Pitch. This event was supported by Tamkeen and held in collaboration with the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, the Economic Development Board, and Bahrain Development Bank, with the aim of encouraging Bahraini youth to innovate and enhance the kingdom's entrepreneurship ecosystem. Following a review of the participating projects and their evaluation by the judging panel, the winning companies were announced, with several winning first place, the Loyal winning second place. This support aligns with Tamkeen's strategic priorities for 2025, which include enhancing the competitiveness of Bahraini citizens in the private sector, equipping Bahrainis with the skills necessary for career advancement in the private sector, and prioritizing the growth, digitalization, and sustainability of businesses.